The Warriors cannot afford to pay all of their stars and will not go above the salary cap. The Golden State Warriors have grown tremendously in both athletic and financial terms over the last decade. Joe Lacob and Peter Guber purchased the franchise in 2010 for $450 million, and it is now worth $5.6 billion. This makes them the NBA's second most valuable team, trailing only the New York Knicks $5.8 billion and ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers $5.5 billion, having won 4 rings in the last 8 years. But not everything that glitters on that San Francisco team is gold. Even for a thriving franchise like the Warriors, success comes at an exorbitant cost. Their players want to make more money, and the club will have to do a lot of juggling to please everyone. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. This video will go over the truth about the Golden State Warriors salary issue. All of this and more will be revealed later, so please watch the video, subscribe to the channel, and enable new video notifications. So let's get started. For the time being, Stephen Curry is the highest paid player in the NBA, $48 million per year, with Klay Thompson ranking 10th, $40.6 million. The issue is that Draymond Green, the Warriors' third pillar, has already stated that he wants to earn the maximum salary on his next contract renewal. The emergence of Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, both key players in their team's success last season, doesn't add up. Owners do not want to exceed the salary cap. The owners are unwilling to pay a luxury tax, which penalizes the teams that exceed the salary cap for forcing them to pay additional money to be divided among the remaining NBA teams. If they go over the cap for between $0 and $5 million, they should pay $1.5 for every dollar they go over. Between $5 and $10 million, it's $1.75, between $10 and $15 million, $2.5, and between $15 and $20 million, $3.25 for every single dollar. Meanwhile, for every additional $5 million, the tax will rise by $0.5. For example, if a team earns more than $20 million, the tax rate will be $3.75 on the dollar. According to The Athletic, one of the solutions the Warriors are considering is lowering Klay Thompson's salary, who has barely played the last 2 seasons due to a serious injury. Poole and Wiggins' importance and market value have been increased as a result of his absence. The Warriors urgently require one of their 2 leaders to accept a pay cut. Thompson's pay may be reduced. As a result of his long-term injuries, Thompson's market value has declined. Thompson is not his old self despite some strong performances since his return. His defense, movement, and 3-point accuracy have all suffered. Meanwhile, the Warriors expect him to accept the pay cut after stating last season that he would not play for any other team or coach other than Steve Kerr if they won the championship. It remains to be seen whether he's willing to give up some of his salary in order to keep the team together. To avoid paying a large amount of luxury tax, the Warriors were forced to get Gary Payton II and Otto Porter Jr. leave the team due to the salary cap. In fact, by parting ways with both, the Warriors saved an estimated $60.7 million in salary and luxury tax. They must now make another difficult decision, whether to offer the maximum contract to Andrew Wiggins or Jordan Poole. Draymond Green wishes to extend his contract indefinitely. According to The Athletic, Green wants to sign a max contract with the Warriors. He sees himself as a full-fledged member of their backcourt, alongside Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, and as a player who has helped them win 4 championships in 8 years. On August 3rd, he will sign a 4-year, $138.4 million contract. A maximum extension would pay Green $164.2 million over the next 5 seasons, including next season. He has 2 years remaining on the 2-year contract extension he has signed in 2019. Green has a guaranteed contract for the next season worth $25.8 million, with a player option worth $27.6 million for the 2023-24 season. It is impossible to pay for so many high-value contracts. The Warriors must now decide whether to offer him a max contract. With the salaries Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson already receive, plus the new contracts they'll have to offer Wiggins and or Poole, as well as a potential salary increase for a couple of young players, Golden State will undoubtedly exceed the salary cap. Nothing says sore loser or talking head, like complaining about a team doing what the rules allow. If you don't agree with the Golden State Warriors spending, that's fine, but don't be upset when they win by investing in themselves. The Golden State Warriors are currently over the salary cap by more than $71 million and over the luxury tax threshold by more than $39 million. According to Spotrac, their estimated luxury tax bill this coming offseason as a repeat taxpayer will be slightly more than $170 million. That's nearly the same as the $175 million they're paying their roster. So Golden State is on the hook for $346 million for this season's team. The Warriors are 1 win away from a championship, thanks in part to their willingness to spend. However, some are spreading sour grapes about Golden State's investment. Brian Windsorts of ESPN is the most recent example, but ESPN's Zash Lowe has also written about NBA owners grumbling about the Warriors' spending advantage in a market where they have become one of the most valuable franchises in the league. From the outside looking in, it appears that the team is buying championships. Windhorst referred to Golden State's Game 5 victory as a checkbook win. Nothing could be further from the truth. Golden State has built a title-contending team and has done exactly what teams should do to maintain that level of competitiveness. The Warriors have made difficult decisions. Lowe's ESPN piece delves into the circumstances surrounding the NBA 2019 offseason, as well as the decision made by the Warriors' general manager Bob Myers to trade Andre Iguodala and his large contract to the Memphis Grizzlies, along with a 2024 first-round pick protected in the top 4 to make it worthwhile for Memphis. Steve Kerr has been quoted saying that Iguodala trade demonstrated why the coach should not be the general manager. Kerr says, "If I had been in charge, I would not have done the deal, and we would not have been here today with Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga." Of course, before Wiggins and Kuminga could become Warriors, Golden State had to make another trade or two. First with the D'Angelo Russell trade in what became a double sign-and trade with the Brooklyn Nets involving the departing of Kevin Durant, and then with the move to bring in Wiggins. Then seen as a failed #1 overall pick by impact standards, and the pick that eventually became Kuminga, and a second rounder for Jacob Evans and Omari Spellman to help the Warriors to get under the tax. Jordan Poole was the Warriors' number 28 pick in the 2019 draft, and Lowe points out he was not involved in the Wiggins trade in 2020. Back then, he was struggling to get playing time on a bad team, how things can change in a few years. Earlier in their dynasty's rise, the Warriors had to make some difficult decisions to move on from key players, and they needed stars like Steph Curry to understand and not rock the boat as those moves occurred. The additions and astute roster management decisions have them on the verge of making history for reasons other than money. The same can be said for what they do once they've gotten them on board. The Warriors create and pay for their own. Golden State has spent millions of dollars on its own players. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green are all former Warriors draft picks, but their dedication to their style of play and who they've brought in to help develop it is impressive. Approximately $135 million of the nearly $176 million the Warriors are on the hook for this season is in players that Golden State actually drafted or spent the vast majority of their careers with. 201 of Damon Lee's 2016 games were played with the Warriors. That amounts to nearly 77% of the Warriors' payroll being spent in a way that, in theory, the NBA should support, on homegrown talent deemed worthy of investment by the Warriors' front office. The finger is then pointed at Andrew Wiggins as the reason that Golden State's victory on Monday reflects on their spending power more than anything else. He is, after all, the end result, along with Kuminga, of Golden State's drastic cap increase in the summer of 2016 when they signed Kevin Durant. Durant, of course, contributed to the Warriors' dynasty, but once KD decided to leave, the Warriors' double sign and trade with Russell led to Wiggins. He would not have been able to have a career night for the Warriors in Game 5 against the Boston Celtics if Durant had not agreed to such a deal, one that Brooklyn did not need to do, but chose to do because they received draft pick compensation in exchange. Please share your thoughts in the comments area below. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all new video notifications. Until then, bye.